يا مسبل الستر يا من حكمك العدل ساري والعفو.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, wapenzi watazamaji wa channel yetu ya Nurul Mustafa. Tupo katika mwendelezo wa masomo ya ziada, na kama kawaida leo tuna tena somo la English. As we have said in the previous lesson that we have to learn about the parts of speech. We have started with the noun, the types of nouns, the singular and plural form, and today we are going to the second part of speech, which is a pronoun. Pronoun in English. In these pronouns, we are going to learn the meaning of a pronoun and the types of pronouns, so that we have to understand how we are using these pronouns in English. So let's start with the meaning. When we hear the word pronoun, what do we mean, or what do we understand? The word pronoun means is a word that replaces a noun. It's a normal noun. We have already understood what noun means, right? So this pronoun replaces a noun. What does it mean? Replaces means instead of noun, we are using a pronoun. But we have already understood why we are using this pronoun. We are using pronoun instead of noun so that to stop the repetition of a noun in a sentence. So a pronoun, it's a replacement of a noun in a sentence. Instead of using a noun, we are using a pronoun. As we have learned in the previous lesson that a noun is a name of a place, person, things, and concept. So let's see the types of pronoun. What are those types of pronoun? What are those words that are replacing the noun? As we have seen that we have different types of noun, there's also different types of pronouns. Number one, in personal pronoun. Personal pronoun, it's a pronoun that replaces a name of a person in a sentence. This personal pronoun replaces only a person, as the word itself, personal pronoun. It's a person. So these are those pronouns that are replacing the names of people in a sentence. For example, look at this sentence. This is Malik. Malik lives in Zanzibar. This is Malik. Malik lives in Zanzibar. This sentence is written here without a pronoun. So let's see the second example. This is Malik. He lives in Zanzibar. So instead of repeating the name Malik, we have used a pronoun he so that to avoid the repetition of a name in a sentence. That is a pronoun, and it's a personal pronoun. In these personal pronouns, let's look here. We have replaced a noun, Malik, with the personal pronoun he. So the sentence is better with this personal pronoun because we are no longer repeating the name Malik. And you know this style is better. We don't have to repeat the same name in a sentence. So to avoid this repetition, we are using the pronoun. In above sentence, as you're saying there, he is the subject of the sentence. He is the subject of the sentence. Subject means a person who is leading that sentence, means someone who is acting, who is showing the action, and he is standing at the beginning of the sentence. That is a subject person in a sentence. And in a pronoun, we are calling it a subject personal pronoun. And there's also a second type of personal pronoun, which is object personal pronoun, which are used at the object of the sentence. And these object personal pronoun are standing at the last of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. Let's see what are those: subject and object personal pronoun. Subject pronouns and object pronouns. Subject, as we have said, you are going to see this subject at the beginning of the sentence. So those names that are written at the beginning of the sentence, we are replacing them with the subject pronouns or subject personal pronouns. And those names that are at the end of the sentence, we are replacing them with the object personal pronoun. So what are those subject pronoun and what are those object pronoun? Subject personal pronoun are the subject of the verb. When we are talking the subject of the verb, we mean that it starts the pronoun first and then the verb comes after the pronoun. These are the subject pronoun. And the object are those pronouns, personal pronoun, that appear in a sentence after the verb, means at the end of the sentence. So what are those subject personal pronoun? We have I don't want to mention my name, so instead of mentioning my name, I will use a subject personal pronoun, which is I. I have you. Instead of mentioning your name, maybe Aisha, sit down. I don't want to say sit down, I will just say you sit down, because I already know that who is a person I'm talking to. So means without mentioning the name, I will just use a subject personal pronoun. We have he. He is also a subject personal pronoun, and it is used for the male. We have a boy, maybe boy and girl, man and woman. So he is used for a man or a boy. So if you have a name of a boy or a man, you are going to replace that name with the subject pronoun he if it is at the beginning of the sentence. And then we have the subject pronoun she. She, it is used for female or girls or women. It is used for things or animals. If you are mentioning the animal, you don't want to repeat the name of animal, or you don't want to repeat the name of a thing, you are just going to use the subject personal pronoun it. And then we have we. As in group, I, it's one, we are many. So without mentioning the names, maybe us, Awena, Hartha, and who, we don't want to mention each name because we want to replace those names with personal pronouns. So we are using the subject personal pronoun we for replacing the names who are many. And then the last one we have they. They, if the people are many who are not there, it can be a girl, a boy, maybe a man, a woman, but they are many. So for replacing their names, we are using the subject personal pronoun. Let's see examples here. I am making a phone call. I am making a phone call. I'm talking about myself. I don't want to mention my name, so I use the subject personal pronoun I. You are shaking my hand. You are shaking my hand. You is also a subject personal pronoun. He is drinking a cup of coffee. Maybe there is a boy there. Maybe Arif is drinking a cup of coffee. We don't want to mention the name of the boy because we all know who is that person we are talking about. So instead of using the word or the name Arif, we are using the personal pronoun he. He is drinking a cup of coffee. And if it's a girl, maybe Aisha is drinking a cup of tea. We don't want to use the name Aisha. So instead of using Aisha, we're replacing the name with a personal pronoun she. She is drinking a cup of tea. It was very expensive. Maybe there's something that you went to buy. When you went there, you thought it's a cheap, but then it was a very expensive, maybe a bag. A bag was very expensive. So instead of using the word bag, you are using the personal pronoun it. It was a very expensive. We are having breakfast. We is also a subject personal pronoun. You are having dinner together. You are having dinner together. And the last one, they are shaking hands. So these are the personal pronoun, the subject personal pronoun. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. We have already explained the uses of these subject personal pronoun. They are always at the beginning of the sentence. So all names that are starting in a sentence, at the beginning in a sentence, you will replace them with the pronoun which we are calling subject personal pronouns. They are the noun, they are the word that are replacing the names of the people. And the other one is object pronouns, object personal pronouns. For example, we have me, we have you, we have him. So these are the pronouns that you are going to use to replace those names that are at the end of the sentence or after the verb in a sentence. Subject at the beginning and object should be at the end of the sentence. So we have me, we have you, we have him, we have her, we have it, us, you, and them. Let's see example in a sentence here. Jannah is pointing at me. So me here should be, instead of writing my name, I have replaced it with the pronoun me. Why? Because I don't want to repeat the name in a sentence. Ayan is helping him. Ayan is helping him. Maybe Ayan is helping his friend. So instead of writing his friend or saying his friend, we are replacing the word friend with him. And that him indicate that the person who we are talking about, it's a boy or it's a man. Him replacing the word or the names for man or for boys. Arshad is annoying her. Her here is also replacing a name of a person, but it's a girl, or we can say it's a woman. Mariam made it this morning. It can be maybe she did something good, maybe she wrote a letter. So that later, we are replacing the word later with it. Come to see us in London. We are in a group, so instead of mentioning our names, we are using the object pronoun us in a sentence so that we can replace all the names. Awena is not with them. Them means all people, and they should be at the end of the sentence. If they are at the end of the sentence, we are replacing them, we are replacing their names with the object pronoun or object personal pronoun, them. So, in general, we can say these are the type of personal pronoun. That is the first type of a pronoun, and also it is divided in two. We have subject pronouns and object personal pronouns. Subject personal pronoun are those pronouns that are replacing the name which are at the beginning of the sentence. And object personal pronoun are those pronouns that are replacing the names of the people which are at the end of the sentence. Subject personal pronoun, we have I, we have you, we have we have he, she, it, and they. And in object personal pronoun, we have me, we have us, we have you, we have him, we have her, we have it, and we have them. So those are the personal pronoun. Let's see the second type of a pronoun. The second type of a pronoun is possessive pronouns. What are possessive pronouns? When you hear the word possessive pronouns, what do you understand? Like the word is there, possessive, possess. What does the word possess mean? We have said in personal pronoun, when you only see the word person, you will understand that they are talking about the people. So here, possessive pronoun, possess. What does the word possess mean? So these pronouns show the ownership of something, the ownership that you own something. This is my bag, this is her laptop, this is his teacher, this is our dad. So showing, what do you use to show the possession? What do you use to show the ownership? What do you own? What do you use? What do you have to do? How will we understand that this thing belongs to who? This thing belongs to who? So we have these possessive pronouns which are my, I'm talking about something which is mine. So it's at the first person. And then we have our it's also a pronoun that is showing a possessive or the ownership of something, but then it is talking about the plurality of the people. It means not only one, it's many people. And then we have the possessive pronoun your, means you, your thing. And then we have the possessive pronoun his, and also his for a boy or a man. If we are talking something that belongs to a man or a boy, we have to use the possessive pronoun his. And her, it's a vice versa. When we are talking about something that belongs to a girl or a woman, we are using the possessive pronoun her. And then we have its. Look at the bracket there, not its have to be without apostrophe. Apostrophe showing something else. So it's its, but without apostrophe. So it's also showing the possessive of something for an animal or a thing. And then we have there. There is also talking about the ownership. They own something, but in a group, not only one. So let's see an example. Is that my book? Is that my book? Means there is a book and then there is a pronoun my. My is showing that if this book belongs to me, that is the meaning. If that book belongs to me. So my is showing the ownership that am I the one who is owning or who is responsible for this book? Is it mine? Number 2, no, that's his book. So there is a question there and the answer, no, that is his book. Means that book is not mine, but it belongs to someone else, and that someone else, it's a boy. That's its shelf. Its shelf means it's a shelf, but it is not mine. It's shelf. Something else owns the shelf. And then another example, I like to see their bookshelves. Their bookshelves means there are the shelf that some people own that shelf. So who are owning the shelf? I want to see their bookshelves. So these are the possessive pronouns that are standing before the noun for showing the ownership. We have to understand this one. These possessive pronouns that we have mentioned are the possessive pronouns that are standing before the noun. My, our, your, his, her, its, and their. After this pronoun, there should become a noun. My what? My book, my pen, my pencil, our house, our car, our parents, your book, your pencil, your teacher. So after the pronoun, after this possessive pronoun, they come a noun. They always come a noun after this pronoun. But also we have another group of these possessive pronoun which is independent. When we are talking about independent, means this pronoun refer to a previously named or understood nouns. They stand alone. They are not followed by any other noun. We have seen the first group of possessive pronoun. They are followed with a pronoun, with a noun. They should follow with a noun. My book, your pen, his pencil, her parent, our teacher. So those pronouns, it's a vast group of possessive pronoun. And then we have another group which is independent possessive pronouns. What do we call these independent? We are calling them independent because they are standing alone without any noun. But these pronouns are used for the noun which we already know, or it talks about the previous name. So without repeating that name, we are using this possessive pronoun. We have number 1, mine. So that one is my, this is mine. That my, it comes before the noun, and this mine, it comes without a noun. And then we have ours. So our and ours, and then we have yours, we have his, we have hers, we have its, and we have theirs. The function are the same, but the only difference is this group are standing alone, is not followed by any noun, because we know that we are talking about the previous name, or we are talking about the noun which we already understood. For example, that's mine. When I just come and tell you that's mine, you will just ask me, what is yours? If there is nothing that you understand, it's mine. So maybe you have something, maybe you hold something, and then I come there, it's not yours, I will just tell you that is mine. So I'm telling you that's mine because I know you will understand what thing am I talking about, or what noun am I talking about. So I'll just come and tell you that's mine. Or maybe you come in the class and ask, who lost the pen? Whose pen is this? Whose pencil is this? So without saying that is my pencil, I will keep mentioning the name and using this independent pronoun and say that's mine. Number 2, wrong, it's ours. So maybe the thing is not only mine, but it's ours. It belongs to all of us. So I will not say it's mine. Instead, I will say it's ours without mentioning the name. And then, so I suppose those clothes are yours. I'm just asking that the clothes is there. So without repeating the word clothes, I will just ask you, I suppose these clothes are yours, and I will just say maybe it's not mine. I will say no, it's theirs. So these are the second group of a possessive pronoun which we use without a noun. The first one we are using with a noun means after this pronoun there comes a noun. My, our, your, his, her, its, and theirs. And the second group are those possessive pronouns that we are using without are mentioning a noun. And we are not mentioning a noun because either there is mentioned at the previous sentence, or we understand what noun we are talking about. These are the pronouns that are independent possessive pronouns: mine, ours, yours, theirs, his, her, and its. Let's go to the next type of relative pronouns. What are relative pronouns? We have seen about personal pronoun, we have seen possessive pronoun. Now let's understand relative pronouns. Relate, we all know what relate means. There's a connection between something and something else. So let's see here. Relative pronouns are used to connect a clause or a phrase to a noun or pronoun. In simply way, we can say they are used to give us more information about something that have been mentioned before in a sentence, or something that have been mentioned and we want to know more information about it. And then we have these relative pronouns. We have who for people subjective. We have already understood what are those subjective means. And we have whom for people objective, something after the verb. And then we have which for things or places. And then we have that which are used for all, for both things and people. Let's see here. In a sentence, if we are talking, if we want to give more information about the people, we have to use the relative pronoun who. For example, the driver who ran the stop sign was careless. The driver who ran the stop sign is careless. We can see here, we have the word driver. Driver, it's a person. So if we just say the driver, you are telling someone the driver. So there will be a lot of questions like, what did the driver do? What happened to the driver? What are you talking about? Who is the driver? So giving more information about it, we have to use the relative pronoun who, because who is used for people in a subjective way. So the driver who ran the stop sign was careless. Now we will understand, okay, so the driver that you are talking about, you're giving us information that he ran the stop sign and he was careless. But we used the relative pronoun who to explain more about that driver. And then we have said which for things or places. I don't know which pair of shoes you want. I don't know which pair of shoes you want. So now, which it gives us information, or it relates about that shoes and what happened to the shoes. So it relates between the shoes and the information about it. So I don't know which pair of shoes you want. Or there's another sentence here, no, not that one. Or maybe you have been asked the question, is this your brother or is this your bag? You will say, no, not that one. I don't want that. So these are the relative pronouns that we are using in a sentence to show the relation between the first part of the sentence and the information about it. But we are using them differently. We have real relative pronoun used by the people, who, and then we have the relative pronoun whom for people also, but they have to be objective. And then we have which for things or places, and then we have that which is used for both people and things. That is a relative pronoun. The next type of a pronoun is demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative pronouns take the place of a noun that is already mentioned, as we have said. Actually, it's general pronoun. It's used for replacement of a noun. So these demonstrative pronouns are taking the place of noun which have been already mentioned. They can be singular or plural. We have already seen in a previous lesson about singular and plural. So there are 5 of them. They include. So we have just to understand demonstrative pronoun showing something, pointing something which is near or which is far from where you are. But they are replaced of a noun. We have these, we have those, we have this, and we have that. These for things, places, people nearby, but they have to be in plural. And we have those for things, places, people we are not nearby. They have also be in plural. Vice versa of this is also a demonstrative pronoun. It's pointing something or a person or a place which is nearby. And then we have that which showing or pointing a person, place, or thing which is far, but it is only one, a singular form. For example, these are ugly. I didn't mention the name, but then there is the thing that are there, and we all know that we are talking about things that are there, so we will say these are ugly, but they are many. It is not only one. We have said these are mentioning or pointing the things, people, of places which are nearby, and they have to be in plural form. They have to be many. So these are ugly. And then those are lovely. Those means we're mentioning things or people which is not nearby. So we are using those to mention them or to point them. Those are lovely. Maybe they're just far away from us, but we are mentioning them by using demonstrative pronoun those. Don't drink this. Don't drink this. It can be a water maybe. It can be a juice, but it is there. And it is not nearby. It is far. You will just say, don't drink that. So that are the demonstrative pronouns. Let's go to the next type of pronoun, which is interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronoun. Interrogative pronoun, just what they say. They work in a sentence that are posing a question. So we are using these interrogative pronouns to ask questions. For example, we have who. It is used for people, subjective, as we have seen in the previous type of a pronoun. We have whom, we have which, and we have what. For example here, who is going to arrive first? Who is going to arrive first? So when you answer that question, you will mention the name. Or maybe you don't want to mention the name, you will use the personal pronoun to mention or to answer that question, because we have said who, it is used for people, means when you answer, you are going to answer by using either a name or a personal pronoun. And then we have what. What are you bringing to the party? What, it is used for asking about things. So if you are going to answer this question, you are going to answer it by using a personal pronoun used by things, maybe it, or maybe they will bring some things, but what, it is used to ask question about the things. And then we have which of these do you like better? And then whom were you talking to? Whom, it's also talking about the people, but objective, not subjective, as we have seen in the personal pronoun. We have subjective and objective. So when you ask the question about objective people, you have to use the question form of whom. So those are the interrogative pronouns. And then we have reflexive pronouns. What are reflexive pronouns? Reflexive pronouns are also, they are used when the subject and the object of a sentence refer to the same person or thing. So this means the subject and the object of a sentence refer to the same person or to the same thing. These pronouns end in self or self. If it is one, it is ended with self. We have seen how we form the singular and plural of the word ended with F. We are replacing them with VES. So it's either ending with self or self. Self, it is one, and self if they are many. For example, myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves because we are many, yourselves because you are many, and themselves because they are many. So let's see how they work in a sentence. For example, I told myself not to spend all my money on new shoes. I told myself means this sentence, this information comes back to me, comes back to the same person. So when I'm talking about myself, I have to use reflexive pronouns. Those pronouns that are talking to the same person, to the same thing, to the same place in a sentence, if it is a subject or object. I told myself not to spend all my money on new shoes. The second sentence, you are going to have to drive yourself to the restaurant today. You are going to have to drive yourself to the restaurant today. It means you are going to do something for yourself. That thing comes back to you, yourself. You have to drive yourself to the restaurant today. The third sentence here, gave ourselves plenty of extra time. Ourselves means we have treated ourselves for giving ourselves the plenty of time. They bought themselves a new car. It means they did something for themselves. So these are the reflexive pronoun, the pronoun that comes back that are talking about the same person or the same thing or the same place in a sentence. It can be a subject or an object. And the thing that are mentioning this reflexive pronoun, how will you know this is a reflexive pronoun? It ending with the word self or selves. So we'll just take those personal pronoun and only adding self or self. My, here, myself. You, here, yourself. Him, here, himself. So you will just adding self if it is only one, and if there are many, you will have to add the word selves. That is a reflexive pronoun. And that is the last one of the type of pronoun. So we have personal pronoun. Personal pronoun, they are grouped in two types. We have subjective and objective, as we have seen. And then we have the possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun are also in two. They are dependent possessive pronoun, which are followed by a noun. After a pronoun, there is also a noun after it. And there is independent possessive pronoun, which are standing without a noun, because we understand the noun we are talking about, or we are talking about the noun which we have already mentioned at the previous of the sentence. And then we have the relative pronoun. We have said these are joining the two parts of a sentence, or they are showing us the information. They give us information, more information about the noun that we have mentioned. We have said there is a relative pronoun that are talking about people, that are talking about things, and that are talking about place. And then we have demonstrative pronoun. These are the pronouns that are pointing things which are near or far, and we have seen which are those demonstrative pronouns that we use when we are mentioning or when we are pointing the thing which are far from us, and we are mentioning the thing which are near to us, or the place or the thing. And then we have interrogative pronoun. We have said these are pronouns that are replacing the noun by asking the question. There is a interrogative pronoun used for people, used for places, used for things. And then the last one is reflective pronouns, something that talk about the same person or comes back or going back to the same person or thing. That information in a sentence, it belongs to the same person or thing. It can be subjective or it can be objective. And we have mentioned those reflexive pronouns. And that is the end of our lesson today. So to see that you have understood this lesson, there is a very short testing paragraph about a pronoun here. It's a very short paragraph. What I want you to do is see if you can locate all the pronoun in this paragraph. I want you to see if you can locate the pronoun that we have mentioned, or among those pronouns that we have mentioned. It cannot be all of them, but somehow I want you to point those pronouns. How are you going to locate them? You will just have to underline them and then give us information down in the comments, and then we'll give you the correct answer of those questions. Maybe if you got something wrong in that paragraph, we'll just give you the correct answer. So make sure you comment down there to do the work, and then we can see and we can look how well you did. So this is the paragraph. No matter what your teachers may have taught you about pronouns, they don't always have it right. If your teachers warned you about the evil of gambling, however, they were right about that. So you don't want someone breaking your kneecaps with his crowbar. It will hurt. The police might arrest you, and you may never forgive yourself. So in this short paragraph, I want you to locate all the pronouns that we have learned in our lesson today, and then we'll give you the feedback. Let's see how you are going to do well in this paragraph, and all the best. Until next time, inshallah. Ma'as-salam.
يا مسبل الستر يا من